So when I'm first talking about conversation, I start with just naming different things that we might enjoy together. So we may choose a category that they really like. Say they're really heavy into Disney characters. So maybe I have pictures of Disney characters and we each choose one, and I say Mickey Mouse and he says Donald Duck, and I say Minnie Mouse, and we just kind of go back and forth and just enjoy that sharing and taking turns and staying on topic. If they can do it without pictures, then I do it just verbally. And it becomes a game, and we have a good time, and we're taking turns, and we're staying on topic, which are our two main introductory goals for conversation, right? I make sure it's exaggerated and fun. Remember, children aren't going to look at you for eye contact if you're stern and directive all the time. They have to realize that people are joyous and people are fun to play back and forth conversationally with. So then I want them to start to be able to share conversations about what they've experienced. So I use conversation bags. This is not evidence-based. This is just something that I personally have come up with that seems to work. So for instance, at the preschool that I run for speech-language pathologists to get trained, we run thematic preschools. So they will have a theme for the children every couple of weeks, and of course their books follow the theme and that kind of stuff. So recently we had a transportation theme, and we also were teaching clean and dirty as concepts during this theme. So we took all of our little transportation items and we dirtied them all up with a water-based marker, and then we ran them through the car wash, spray bottles and things like that to clean them. And so then I put dirty things and clean helicopters and dirty helicopters and clean Jeeps and dirty Jeeps and clean boats and dirty boats all in a bag. And we had our talk time, or our conversation time. And each person would take turns taking something out of the bag, and they could talk about whether it was clean or whether it was dirty. So they're talking about their experience with that. Oh, this is all dirty. I made it dirty with brown marker, things like that. And again, the bag makes the children stay on topic, and taking turns is then the passing of the bag. And then by the end of up till the next break, I might have 4 or 5 bags. One's transportation, maybe one's food, maybe one's shopping, and we have different bags. In our talk time, I can say, oh, what should we talk about? And they can pick a main topic. So I'm building up their ability to talk about what they've experienced. And isn't that what we want children to be able to do academically in school, is to be able to talk about what they've experienced, then to be able to write about what they experienced, to support that with reasons and things that they know about the world. So this is something that I think works really well to begin conversation. It also works with older kids. If you have a theme on China or a theme on community-based grocery shopping, you can put remnants of that in the bag and have a discussion about your field trip, or your learning experience, or your chapter that you read, or even the book. Sometimes I'll copy characters out of the book, and we'll have a character conversation. This is kind of a variation on the same theme, using remnant books, photograph books, even iPod pictures or digital picture viewers that all have pictures about something that you want to have a conversation about. So you can put them into albums or share them, taking turns turning the pages. This is really great for families, especially grandparents. It allows them to have a conversation with their child because the visual pictures really support their experience. And it allows the child with autism to be successful in a conversational, informational kind of way. And I think the digital age is really going to help us with that. You know, I have several children who use iPods to help them with their conversation with friends and things like that. Oh, look at this picture I have of my family. Here we are. We went to Disney World. Things like that really, really helps them. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the use of visuals to support topic maintenance in the classroom. So in order for people with autism to really understand topic maintenance without needing those very tactile turn-taking measures that we were talking about, like the conversation bags or the remnant books and things like that, it must be made visual for them to understand the connections. So I'm always looking for visual supports that teachers can use without having to prepare ahead of time, because that's one of the problems with visual supports, isn't it? That you have to prepare that ahead of time. Although now with active boards and other types of things, it's less and less problematic. But this is one kind of handy-dandy hint that I think really works. Using semantic maps while they're talking or while they're brainstorming really helps children with autism see the connections in conversation, and it takes no pre-planning. So you put the topic in the center circle, and as the children add information, the connections to the topic are shown visually. But if an off-topic remark is made, then that topic is recorded in a separate circle, very separately away from the web. So in that way, off-topic remarks are shown visually. So let's look at an example of this. So here's a conversation, I think it was in a second grade room. They were talking about bugs, and everybody was contributing, brainstorming about what bugs do. And then my little guy contributed something about Chewbacca and Star Wars. So the teacher could say, oh, you're talking about Star Wars, and make that circle in a different color. And said, you know, the class is talking about bugs right now. So it's not Star Wars talking time, it's bugs talking time. So the teacher says, oh, you're talking about Star Wars. It's not Star Wars talking time, it's bugs talking time. Tell me something about bugs. And then you program a small amount of time to talk about Star Wars sometime during the day so that the child gets to talk about his narrowed or restricted interest at an appropriate time. And isn't that what we all do? We all have certain topics that we would prefer to talk about, but we don't bring them up when it's not appropriate. So what we're doing then is teaching them when it is appropriate, not saying, oh, never talk about Star Wars, but when is it appropriate to talk about that?